Hello, beautiful alchemist, and happy Leo season. Let me just scooch this back a little bit. I feel like the camera is way too close. Anyway, cue the drama. No, it is Leo season, and it is going to be an interesting month, energetically speaking, in the most beautiful ways when we look at it as a way of illuminating really and truly um, this ability to reclaim our sovereignty and to really look at, observe, and decide what is true to our heart, our way, and our being. So, we're going to talk about Leo season. There's, again, a lot coming up in August, a lot of beautiful energies to support our energetic alchemy. But before we get into all of that, there are a few things I want to make sure that I tell you because I don't want to forget by the time we get to the end. So, one of the first things I have been thinking about a lot. I was interviewed recently by the skeptical shaman. Her name is Rachel White, and the episodes are available. She did a whole series on um, interviewing different practitioners within this realm and different facets of creating their business or what it has been like to build their businesses or to sustain their businesses, to expand, and so on. And I was one of the people that she interviewed for this series. And my particular interview will launch in September. However, if you go to her Substack, you can access the entire series, all of the interviews right now. So I will include the link for that below. But it also got me thinking about the phases of what deciding to become a practitioner has been like for me. And I know that so many people have questions about this: how to start, how to expand, how to pivot, how to change. If it's even necessary to create a business around this work, if you feel called to share, what are the options available? And over the years, I have had many discussions with many practitioners and teachers about all of this, usually very specific to whatever their personal experience and questions are around this. I even got to a point where I decided to create a course around this called Spiritual Business Development, and it walks you through your own personal observation, questioning of how to build, how to refine considerations that a lot of people don't know are part of building a spiritual practice and business. So, spiritual business development is always available on my website as a go at your own pace on demand course. But I also wanted to, this inspired me to do another episode to really break down the phases that I personally went through, because not only does it show how it is we may all feel inspired to change and grow along the way, which I think is very important for a lot of you to know, because some people get afraid to start because they think they have to stick with that. And so they want to perfect before beginning. So I will do an episode where I share with you what my journey has been, what it is now, and how things are unfolding, because I have gone through many iterations, not just in my own personal growth, what it is I have shared over the years, what it is I have offered over the years. But yeah, I'll share it all with you, including some of the pitfalls and what I've learned. So stay tuned for that. The other thing is, I do emphasize a lot in my work energy healing, Reiki as a foundation, but many aspects of energetic alchemy. And what is included in that, that is very important to me, is your intuitive recognition, your intuitive development, your ability to recognize how to tune into your own higher wisdom. And to support that, A few years ago, many of you know, I created an oracle deck with us in mind, with the seekers, the energy healers, the empaths, the alchemists, all of us in mind in the creation of this oracle deck to give us a tool to be in conversation with our own intuitive nature, to help us reveal our blind spots, to help us recognize how intuition really has its own language and how to be receptive to that language. And so the oracle deck has been just a gift. Like it was incredible to work with the artist Hilary Zozula. It has been incredible, working with people who have purchased the deck over the years. It has been incredible having oracle classes, and that's something that continues to be important to me. So, Oracle School will open this month on August 6th, but prior to that, I always offer a free class because it's important to me that my work is accessible to everyone. So I offered a free Oracle class called the Oracle Codex, and we did the first one on July 27th. If you missed it, it's okay. I am doing it again. I believe it's this Sunday on August 3rd. So if you want to come to the free class, or even if you register and if you can't come live because of the timing, you still get access to the recording just by registering. So you want to make sure that you go to the link that is below this video, or if you are signed up, registered for my newsletter, you have the link accessible to you there. So it's called Oracle Codex. It is free. It is this Sunday. And yes, there are some aspects of it that are specific to my deck, the Energetic Alchemist Oracle. However, even if you don't have my deck, you can come and use any deck that you have. It's just to lay the foundation to get you comfortable with, to get you to play with and explore what it means to work with Oracle in an intuitive way rather than just relying on the book. So you can sign up for Oracle Codex. I hope to see you there on the 27th. We had a lot of fun, so I expect we will have some fun again. Now, the other thing I wanted to let you know is there is this beautiful company called Otter Spirit, and they create crystal bracelets. And a lot of us love wearing crystal jewelry, whether it's a necklace, a ring, bracelets. We see these beautiful bracelet stacks all the time. Well, the cool thing about this company is a couple of things. First of all, they use real stones, real crystals, real gemstones. It's not fake. And the reason this is important is because we are working with the technology of these crystals, these gems, these stones that carry so much earth wisdom within them. Now, a lot of people associate crystals and stones with, their specified points of focus. Like, for example, a lot of people work with rose quartz when they are wanting to work on their heart intelligence, or working with the essence of love. But on top of those specific areas of focus, again, real crystals, real stones, they have also this technology, this consciousness, this earth intelligence embedded within them. And because they are of the earth, there's also this way that we get to consciously engage with, energetically engage with the intelligence of stones and crystals, which is why they are so popular. So many people are drawn to them, to work with them. I have so many crystals and stones around me all the time. I'm looking across the room. There are a bunch set up on an altar over there. But I also have the bracelets that I wear. Now, one of the things I used to do, it was very meditative. When I first started this work, I used to do a day of silence every month. Once a month, I would do a day of silence. And because it was very meditative and there wasn't anything else I could do, no electronics, no gadgets, no anything, I went through a period of making bracelets for myself, crystal bracelets. it was a very expensive habit, I will say, but um, it was something that I really enjoyed doing. And it also brought me in a different kind of relationship with crystals and what it's like to wear this powerful technology. So anyway, this company, Otter Spirit, they reached out to me. And again, they use real crystals, rocks, stones. It's real. And they give part of their proceeds to supporting, protecting the sea otters in Northern California. But aside from that, this company is different because they make the bracelets in different sizes. So they come in small, medium, and large, which is great because typically the bracelets are made with one generic size. And for some of us, that's either too small or for some of us, that's too big. So you have small, medium, and large. But then also you have the option of choosing the standard size beads that you see with crystal bracelets, but they also have smaller beads, which I love because I have small wrists. And so the smaller beads are just more fitting to me. And they also, I like the way that they stack. I like to wear multiple ones and they're very stackable. So, anyway, when they reached out to me and I saw that, I ordered bracelets right away before even, what it was they were really offering or asking of me. I saw the different sizes. I got excited and I ordered my own stack of bracelets. And, but what they were reaching out to me for was to ask me about the different energies associated with Reiki. So they offered to create stacks of bracelets. Each stack has three bracelets, but specific to the levels of Reiki. So there's a Reiki level 1 stack, a Reiki level 2 stack, and a Reiki level 3 stack. Now, it doesn't matter which level of Reiki you're attuned to. It doesn't even matter if you're a Reiki practitioner. You can wear or buy or get benefit from these stacks. So, the role that I played in this was sharing with them the points of focus, energetically speaking, when we are going through the different levels of Reiki. So, in Reiki level 1, of course, there's a lot of focus on grounding and even our confidence building because we're just at the beginning stages. In level 2, we're going deeper into the intuitive aspect of the work. And level 3, we're really expanding our awareness and our consciousness of being one with all there is. Now, I gave them far more detail than that, but that is what gave them the inspiration to choose which stones to put in each stack. So, the reason this was exciting to me is because it's specific to us in the Reiki community. And if you really think about it, I mean, it's really cool that a company would even highlight our work, And so I thought that was pretty amazing. But on top of that, they said, in a very generous offer, thank you for giving us this information. And as a thank you, we will also offer your audience a discount on our bracelets. So, down in the link below, I have an affiliate link that you can use that will give you a discount on your order. But I also will include the links to the different stacks, although you can buy whatever you want. But I will show you the links to the specific Reiki stacks because, again, it really just supports that a business is highlighting our work and what we do. So I just think that's really cool. And there's also a promo code you could use. My name, YOLANDA 20. So Yolanda 20 for 20% off. And the links for that are below. I have all of the Reiki stacks right here next to me, and I want to show them all to you, but I will do a separate video for that. So, the last thing I want to tell you before we get into the energy of the month is about the new platform that I have been working on that has already launched. And although it was my brainchild, my baby, it has come to life. It has been birthed through collective efforts. So, first of all, I want to say thank you so much to my friend Turtle Angelo, who is an incredible astrologer. She has been very integral in uh, helping to make this come to life and the aesthetic of it all. Also, to my friend Kay, who is an incredible energy healer. She has been editing the videos for the podcast series that is associated with the site. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go to thereikiclass.com. What I wanted to provide is a space where you could find access to teachers, practitioners, healers in your area, but also ones that you can work with remotely. Ones that I know will provide quality work and sessions for you so you don't have to just Google and shoot blind in the dark. Like, is this a good teacher? Is this a good practitioner? These ones have essentially been vetted, for lack of a better word. Aside from that, there are also free resources for you on the site as well. So there are downloadable PDFs, videos, guided meditations. There's a list of recommended books to support you in your development, your education of Reiki and energy healing, and so on. And there's also a section of upcoming events. So if there's something that you want to learn, like Reiki, Akashic Records, meditation, working with crystals, all of these things, there's a directory of classes for in person, online, and even ones that are on demand that you can do at your own pace. So there's so much information at the Reiki class, and it will be constantly updated with what is new and upcoming. But with this platform, there is an associated podcast. So all of us benefit from learning from each other. And Reiki Radio started back in 2013. And at that time, I don't know. There may have been other Reiki podcasts. I really don't know. Although several people have said to me that mine was the first, or it may have just been the first that they were aware of. But now there is so many options available. We have several Reiki podcasts and so much content to support our education within the realm of energy healing. And it is an incredible thing. So I wanted to provide a platform again for teachers and healers who didn't necessarily put themselves out that way, but had great information and a lot of value to contribute to support us all in understanding these paths of awakening and energetic alchemy from different lenses, from their lenses of experience, from their lenses of expertise. And I wanted a variety for all of us to be able to learn from. So the podcast is called Awakening Airwaves. And as of right now, we have 8 different shows. And if you follow us on your favorite podcast platform, or you can also follow our YouTube channel, Awakening Airwaves, please follow on YouTube and on your favorite podcast platform to support the growth and really to support the contributors and their journey of sharing with all of us in these new ways. But it's really cool because again, you get a variety of, you know, topics. And we have one beautiful practitioner who recently did an episode on how Reiki can support communication with people that are neurodiverse. And we have a recent episode that came out about crystals in relationship to astrology. We have an episode about working in the infinite field, quantum healing and energy with someone who is known for the Akashic Records. Like there's just so much for you to learn from and grow through. So check out Awakening Airwaves. All right. Now let's get into this energy for August. Oh, like I said, cue the drama. No. A happy birthday to all of the beautiful Leos out there. It is Leo season, but Leo does have a reputation for being dramatic and not, you know, I hope that isn't taken with a negative connotation. It's just big energy. It has a flair. It's the lion. It's the king of the jungle. It is in its sovereignty, right? So one of the first things you think about this energy, really consider that this reclaiming or this relationship to your own authority. And if you were in your authenticity, how much more would you be willing to be seen, to be known? What if you started to really consider that everyone here on this planet came to contribute in some way? That everyone here, including you, came to share their light in some way. Now, it doesn't matter what that looks like for anyone else in this conversation. This is just about you. So, when we finally do the work of coming in to ourselves, getting to know ourselves, getting to examine and explore who and what we are, beyond the projections and the life experiences and things that perhaps we've lived out that weren't necessarily resonant to us, we start exploring and following this curiosity of what matters to me really? Who am I really? What do I feel inspired by? What are my gifts and talents? What is it that I want to experience in this life? Well, this energy really comes in to support more of the reclaiming of that. So again, you can think of the intelligence of the lion, even symbolically speaking. Again, it's regal. It's this sovereign energy, but it's sure, it's confident. Now, again, apply that to you. What would it look like or feel like if you were standing firmly in your truth? And what would it take to allow you to do so? Are there any shifts and changes? Are there any aspects of healing that have to occur to allow you the freedom to step more boldly into your light, into your lion or lioness intelligence? So, aside from the lion, of course, this beautiful sign is ruled by the sun. So, this gives us another indication of this energy. The sun is so bold and bright and radiant, and it doesn't discriminate about where it's going to shine. It just does. And it's this symbolism. It is often associated with enlightenment, with spirituality, with illumination. It's seen, you know. It is. We all see and are nourished and gifted with the life force of the sun. And it's a big, bold energy. So, again, how does that mirror back to you and your being? Are you in relationship to your internal sun, your inner light, your inner knowing, your reclaiming of your true luminous nature? Now, the thing about Leo is this sign also governs the heart. It's known as a very generous energy. And so this brings a lot of focus this month to our heart intelligence. So why is this heart resonance so important to the reclaiming of your light? Now, of course, I could go down a whole rabbit hole of why that is, but I'm not going to do that. I want you to just reflect on that for yourself. Why is your heart intelligence so important in the reclaiming of your own light? That's something to meditate on and consider for yourself. So this month really is going to give us more space, more room, give us more access to wisdom to help us work through and develop through this energy. Two things about that. One thing you'll hear a lot about in August is the Lionsgate portal. We hear about this every year. It's an annual event. A lot of people think the Lionsgate portal is just on August 8th. And there's a lot of attention given to it because of even numerically 8-8. So on August 8th, you may hear a lot about this Lionsgate portal, but the truth is it opens prior to that. August 8th is just the peak of this energy. So what the Lionsgate portal is it's not just some made up idea, again, associated with 8-8. What it is it's the time where our sun is aligned with Sirius. So for some ancient cultures, this was a very, we'll say, spiritual, cosmic time or event. It was a time where the sun aligning with Sirius, which also has this correlation with our spiritual sun, our spiritual intelligence, a realm of higher consciousness, it being in alignment with our sun, then opens this portal, this gateway to higher essence flowing into our earth plane, giving us more access, more accessibility to higher frequencies of divine intelligence. Now, this portal or this alignment actually starts this year. I believe it opened on July 27th. So either between the 26th and the 28th. So let's just say July 27th. And the portal will close on August 12th. But again, the peak of the portal is on August 8th. Now, there's a lot of interesting story again around Sirius, and the ancient Egyptians had a strong connection to this energy. And then there's also Sirius B, that the Dogum tribe in Africa, if you've never heard about them, it's an interesting thing to look up their connection to Sirius B and how this tribe had an awareness of our solar system, including Sirius B, before we had the technology to see that far into the cosmic, into the, my mind just went blank, but to see that far into our galaxy, like before telescopes and all of these types of things, this tribe, the Dogum tribe in Africa, they had already drawn it all out. Parts of our solar system that technology, again, hadn't yet revealed or known about. So you can read about this, but essentially, long story short, they said that they were visited by their star brothers from Sirius B. And so that these alien intelligence came to visit their tribe and taught them about the solar system. And there's a lot of information around that. But this tribe, they still exist. And every year they actually have celebrations to acknowledge these star beings who came to educate their tribe at this time in history. But anyway, so during this Lionsgate portal, there is this awareness that we have. It's like a thinning of the veil, where there's a thinner veil between us and the higher realms. And so we are being attuned to higher frequencies, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. So, what that may feel like, if you think about it, if we're vibrating, let's say, at a level 2, just for the sake of example, we're vibrating at a frequency level 2, and then all of a sudden we're being doused with this frequency level 5. Now, while the 5 is a higher, more refined, more intelligent essence that may sound like a gift, and it is, it would be a little bit uncomfortable for if we're vibrating at a level 2 to acclimate to this type of energy. Because in order to acclimate to these higher frequencies, we have to allow some shift, some change, some release to make room. And also, again, to get accustomed to these higher levels of frequency. So while this is a very, we can think of it as a beneficial time, a gift even in being in relationship with higher intelligence, it also comes with the other side of the coin, where there may be some discomfort in the growth that is necessary, the change that is necessary to allow us to acclimate more fully. So, this is why this season kind of has a push pull, but you want to look at why. If ultimately the benefit of Leo season, of the lion, of the sun, is to bring you into deeper relationship with the light of your being, what a lot of us talk about in Reiki as our true nature or our great bright light. What are we willing to work through to allow to come into relationship with to make it more so, more true, to awaken, to support that process for ourselves? So that's some of the understanding around the Lionsgate portal. The other thing is in the study of Kabbalah, there's also the teaching of Leo season being it's pretty much a parallel story. It's a very spiritual time where, again, there's almost like this thinning of the veil, this dousing of this higher intelligence of spiritual energy that comes in that makes this season recognized as a time of duality, because we have to face the shadow in order to receive and accept more of the light. So, no matter which angle we look at this from, you really want to see again, like, what is being presented to you in this season and how is it for your benefit? If anything strikes you or meets you or pushes against you as uncomfortable or a curveball, examine that. Is there something being mirrored back, giving you clarity around what you are ready to heal, to transform, what would benefit you in releasing and allowing and transforming for the sake of your illumination and the reclaiming of your sovereignty? So the season has beautiful, beautiful intelligence. It really makes me think of, what's not aligned with truth and what's being dismantled to really support you in becoming more efficient and effective in your service. Because once the sun moves out of Leo, it will shift at the end of this month into Virgo. And that's where we get more into the refining and purifying to be a little more effective. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But this is why even each month in the energy of the month, I talk about the energy we're moving out of and what we're moving into, and how where we are now is just a preparation for where we're going. So we moved out of Cancer season, which was ruled by the moon. So we had this opportunity last month to really deep dive in, to tune into what we are feeling, what is going on with us in the depth of our being, more emotionally centered. There's more emphasis on what we hold close to home, literally and figuratively. So that lunar essence was more internal, looking in, preparing us for the solar intelligence of what is being seen and what is being illuminated, outward expression. And this, again, there will be a lot that we become aware of in Leo season, and it's preparing us for Virgo, where then we'll have some other points of focus. So one of the things, astrologically speaking, when I was looking at the energy of this month, there's a lot going on with the planets Mars and Venus. And I'm not going to go into detail about all of that. But of course, there are plenty of astrologers out there that will give more detail and insights on this. And in fact, if you follow Awakening Airwaves or go to the ReikiClass.com, there are incredible astrologers there. We even have a podcast with an astrologer who gives detail about the energy of each month. Turtle, check it out on Awakening Airwaves. But I just like to give a general interview or overview of the energies that we can expect to encounter, to support us in recognizing what it is we are being asked to work with, or to recognize what you may witness out in the world or in interacting with others, that there's more understanding so that we have less resistance and we can be more consciously aware of how we are working with these different phases and cycles of change. So, after the peak, the Lionsgate peak on the 8th of August, the next day we have the full moon. So we have the full moon in Aquarius. And remember, whenever the moon is full, the sun is in its opposite sign. So if the sun is in Leo, the moon then in her fullness is in the opposite of Leo, which is Aquarius. So this always gives us kind of, I want to say, this balancing of what seems to be an opposition or dual, right? But really, there's a common ground between these two energies. So we have this illumination of the sun in Leo, really connected to our confidence. Again, our gifts, our talents, taking on that intelligence, being invited to have the courage and the sovereignty, the regalness of the lion. And that's very kind of self focused in a lot of ways. But then we have the other end of the spectrum where Aquarius says, yes, be in your uniqueness. Absolutely. But how is that serve all, the collective, the community? So with the full moon being in Aquarius, there is this emphasis on community. There is more redirecting our attention to how we may be of support, but also how we can be supported. So, what is supporting your way of reclaiming your authenticity and your light? And again, what are you willing to do to participate consciously in the process of your awakening and reclaiming your sovereignty and recognizing the beauty, the gift that you came to contribute just by being who and what you are authentically? So, this energy of Aquarius is also where, the Leo, the lion, it's shining bright. It's that sun, that solar intelligence that it almost commands recognition. But the Aquarius side of it too is, you know, really owning recognition or giving recognition where it's due. So you want to also use this time to not really reflect only on the role that you play and recognizing how you are contributing and what those benefits may be, but are you doing the same for others? Do you really see the bigger picture of how we're all contributors and how we all add value? Do you see the way that the uniqueness of everyone playing a part is what contributes to the whole, to the collective awakening? So, giving recognition where it's due, including for yourself, and allowing your uniqueness to add value to the collective, but also witnessing and recognizing and having an appreciation for other people adding value as well, even if they differ in opinion, they do things differently than you. We're not all meant to do the same thing the same way. And that's what makes this experience so beautiful. So that full moon is on August 9th. Then a couple of days later, we have Mercury retrograde ending. It will station direct. So the last few weeks, there has been a lot of reflection because, when Mercury goes in retrograde, it brings this energy of reflectiveness, of revision, of things coming back around to be understood or recognized or giving an opportunity to deal with in another way. It reminds me of like this boomerang effect, really. So after that, a couple of weeks of this deeper awareness, reflection, things meeting us again, whether it was people from your past, situations from the past, anything that came around again, hopefully you did have some reflection and give yourself an opportunity to learn to grow from whatever was being presented, to forgive or heal whatever was being presented, to cross your T's, dot your I's, have more diligence in how we are communicating and clarifying things. And then as Mercury stations direct, now that is our opportunity to take what we learned, what we realized, the clarification that comes, and to move forward with that. So this retrograde started on July 18th. So if you look back from that time until August 11th, you can kind of see what was coming up for you. But now this is a time of moving forward and reclaiming our voice and our position of leadership after those deep reflections and revelations and any revisions that were made. So after this, after Leo season, like I said, we transition into the sun, moving then into Virgo. So that happens on August 22nd. The sun will move into Virgo. So we're moving from this fire energy now into earth. So in Leo season at the start of this month, you may feel activated. You may really be asked, how are you directing or working with your fire, your motivation, your inspiration, your being seen? Remember, Leo is fixed fire, so it's very deliberate. It's lessons in how to be very conscious and deliberate with how you use your sacred fire, your motivation, your will, your drive, your determination, and again, your illumination. And a lot of inspiration may come in that container. But then Virgo comes in, this earth intelligence, and says, now let's kind of ground that fire a bit and let's weed some things out. Let's see what is most effective. What do you really need to prioritize? What may need to be emphasized and what may need to be released? So, the sun moving into Virgo, this fire into earth, is a time where, towards the end of the month, we will kind of settle down, temper the flame, and start to examine where we need to make revisions. Again, what it is we need to prioritize. And Virgo also puts a highlight on our day to day processes, how we're getting things done, what's going to be most efficient and effective. So you may want to revisit that and really, again, restructure in a way that is most beneficial to you. But this energy will also highlight our relationship to health, our health routines. So we'll go more into that next month, where Virgo is the dominant energy of the month. Okay, so the last event that I'm going to cover is on August 23rd, the next day, which is the new moon in Virgo. So August 23rd is the new moon. And remember, the new moon is when the sun and the moon are in the same sign. And this is a time of planting new seeds of intention. Think of the full moon is when things come full circle, a completion, and there's a lot that is illuminated. Whereas the new moon, the sky is kind of dark. It's just a time to plant the seeds. There's not anything necessarily to do or that's illuminating so wildly, but rather the time of really settling into what is it that I want to start to nurture, to grow. This is a new phase, a new cycle, a new beginning. So during the new moon in Virgo, which is rooted really in efficiency, that's the highlight, the energy of this intelligence. This new moon is a great time to resolve any distractions and focus on having the right flow. Again, what will best serve you? What is it that you need to make intentions or have goals around that are going to be most beneficial, that make the most sense? What is really purposeful for you at this time? What are you prioritizing? And this energy is, I want to say, very clarifying in a lot of ways. You know, it's mutable earth, it's changeable earth. So it's really this realization of, it's coming to mind the imagery of, if you were going to plant seeds, not just planting them without consciously observing the health of the seed that you're planting. right? So imagine you have like a bag of seeds, but you're looking to find the best, the quality, the healthiest of the seeds. You're being very selective in what it is that you plant to best support how you can nourish and grow and support the growth of these seeds. So it's a beautiful energy. And again, that's on August 23rd, the time of the new moon. And we will go more into detail with Virgo next month, as I said. But happy birthday to all you Virgos out there. All right. So this month, there is a lot, again, of illumination and we can say correction, opportunity for correction with what's being illuminated, all to support us in the reclaiming of our sovereignty, the having the confidence and the courage of the lion to stand more fully, more boldly in your authenticity, and even giving you the opportunity to really say, like, yeah, I am going to claim or acknowledge or recognize, explore what my natural inclinations, my gifts, my talents may be. And that can look like a variety of things. And I really want you to consider this because a lot of times we give a lot of story around why we don't connect with what sets our hearts on fire, right? What really does illuminate, we say, we don't have time or I don't have the resources, I don't know how. We'll create a lot of story that doesn't even allow us to dip our toe in our own magical waters. But what if you only had to try one thing? Give yourself one opportunity, just starting with the acknowledgement of what really illuminates and feels like you're being called towards to share, to illuminate, even just within yourself. There are so many different ways to give ourselves these beautiful gifts of experience. We just have to have the openness of mind to consider that there are possibilities beyond what we may currently see or know or understand. So you may have to do some research, you may have to have some conversations, but there are so many ways to be inspired. So don't forget, if you want to join me on Sunday, August 3rd for Oracle Codex, it is a free Oracle class. Grab your deck and register. The link is below. Don't forget, if you want to get your own Reiki stacks, I will post a video showing you the Reiki stacks, but no matter which bracelets you like, they're all gorgeous and it's very cool working with the technology of crystals and stones. I actually wrote a whole blog about it. So if you already work with crystals, or even if you don't, and you're just curious about how useful this can be for us in this work, you can read the blog. I will put the link for that down below. And finally, be sure to check out the Reiki class, thereikiclass.com, and tune into Awakening Airwaves on your favorite podcast platform, as well as the YouTube channel. I thank you so, so much for being a part of this community, for helping Reiki Radio to grow over all of these years. I appreciate you sharing this content with anyone you think that it would support, anyone that is also going through their process of growth, awakening, curiosity, seeking. We're all here together. So welcome. Welcome to the community. Have a gorgeous August, and I will see you very soon.